Hey, what's going on? It's Kevin. I wanted to show a super easy streamer for fishing for steelhead that can be swung, it can be dead drifted, but this has been a super effective pattern for me and it's super easy to tie. So in the vise right now, I've got a 35mm Wadington shank I've already built with an intruder hook, rig stinger style. I've got a video down in the description, shows you how to build that rig. I build these shanks in bulk so I can get ready to tie right away. I'm gonna put a little black nickel brass dumbbell eye on the front here. So I like to use this Lagartun French flatbraid. I'm going to do this one with a black river chartreuse with a gold body. Got something that's probably about 4 to 5 inches long. This flatbraid can, as it comes untangled, it can kind of unravel. So you just have to tie it in here in the middle, take some really loose wraps and kind of move it back. And then as long as you pull back on it, then it comes right in tight. You don't got a lot of excess. I like to tie these flies so they catch a lot of fish. So sometimes that flatbraid can start to fray. So I take my Zap-A-Gap and I lay down one layer right here real quick over top. So as I advance my flatbraid, that's gonna be locked in and it's gonna be pretty durable. Like I said, this is going to be black over chartreuse. So I've got some Arctic Fox here. Looking for fibers that are kind of uniform in length. A good mix of some under fur to give it a little bit of bulk, but also kind of long. Give it a little twist. I want this to hit the longest fibers just to kind of hit the eye of that stinger hook. So as I hold it up there, I can switch fingers. I can see how much I need to trim off. So I got my length all set. I'm gonna tie this in reverse style. So this is gonna keep this fly breathing whenever it hits slow currents. I like to fish this fly on an intermediate head and kind of keep it so it just kind of floats around the water column. So what I've done there is I've switched over. I've got the butt ends facing back to the hook, the tips facing away from the eye. And I'm gonna tie this in reverse style. So as you can see now I've got this tied in reverse. I'm gonna go and clean up some of those butt ends on the tie there. It doesn't hurt to hit right there with just a little bit of zap so those threads don't pull, those fibers don't pull. And so the one thing you'll see this fly in the water, this wing can kind of go all over the place. But what I'm trying to do here is I want to push this back. So whenever it does fall under current, that it kind of falls back and stays open. Because if you tied it non-reverse the right way, it would just kind of lay flat, but I'll give it a little bit of a tie. The key here is to put enough thread on the front to make a dam so it kind of stays at a 45-degree angle. It doesn't want to be vertical, but you don't want to do it in a way that you're going to lay this thing flat and negate that reverse tie. So I find in my vise, if I can get it to that kind of point, that's good. The next step is kind of putting a flash wing in between the green and the black. I've talked about it in a lot of other videos before, but the thing that I think is the best is Mirage Flashabou. This is the color 3067. I think it's their pearl. It has this like unique look where it almost goes into like a like an orange. It kind of goes into like a blue. There's like a UV in there. Like there's just a lot of stuff going on, and I feel like that it really just represents, I don't know, something that's going to get a steelhead's attention, and it looks the best in the water. People sometimes like crystal flash because it doesn't require a lot of movement to get it to shine. This stuff is pretty limp, it's pretty good. I cut off a little bit too much here. I'm probably going to go for about 5 strands, a little bit more than probably a little bit more than 5 strands. Looks to be about 6 strands, 7 strands. So what I want to do here is I want to take it and I want to lay those fibers down the length of that wing, and I'm going to put this right down there. And this is a method that I use for Flashabou to not have to deal with short lengths. I'm showed some other videos that I still have it all coming off the front end here where it's kind of limp. I'm going to take it on the back here and also do the same thing where I'm going to measure this out and have it hit almost at that perfect length where it's just as long as that wing. So now I've got the both those sides that are facing back towards the wing, and I've got some loops here. And you can see that these loops are probably only about half the length there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut half of them on the near side to meet at the bottom, loosen them up, cut the other ones on the near side over on the other side. Cut a few that are just right in the middle as like some shorter ones. So what I've done then is I effectively have used that whole piece of Flashabou and have made it so I've pretty much regulated my size, and I keep it so it's in between those two, just right in that perfect length that's not gonna get tied up in my trailer hook. And then when I go to put my overwing, again, this one is black. I do this in a lot of different color combinations. Whenever you're tying in this Arctic Fox, you're really looking for here is the more nice long winging fibers. Another piece of Arctic Fox, same packaging, really kind of full of underfur. This one is a lot of nice long pieces. Some are a little bit too long. I'll deal with that here in a second. But so as I start to look at this material here, I can see there's some long ones. I'm just gonna pull those out and be done with them right away. They're just too much. I'm then gonna hold by out here on the tips, and I know that I don't want any fibers that are shorter than that, so I go ahead and pull out here, and I lose a bunch of that underfur and the shorter material. And so I'm left with a nice amount that I'll be able to put on there as a wing. Unlike the other one that I tied reverse, this one I'm gonna tie regular, tips towards the eye. The cool thing about here, and what I really like about this fly, and the design of that, of the reverse tied underwing, it's going to create a little bit of like a hole in between with this flash, in between these two pieces of material, that flash is allowed to get some water and kind of have some movement. That underwing is also going to keep this up. You can see it keeps that flash up and keeps a nice profile. You put the black over top, and it just does a great job. I made 3 wraps on there, and I'm just gonna make sure that I'm gonna kind of hit it with my thumb to make sure that material, and I'm kind of look down the eye to make sure if you sit from the side of the fly, it looks like that, okay, it's a good even space there. If you come from the side, you just wanna make sure that it's even across the width of the fly. Looks to be pretty good. As you can see, it'll dance nice. It'll lay nice and flat. This fly in this color combination, for me, on the south shores of Lake Erie, has been my #1 producer. It's a confidence fly. I tie it with these dumbbell eyes. I also tie it unweighted. It really has a nice fish on a intermediate skagit head. Catches fish while they're coming fresh into the system looking for minnows. Low and clear, it just really makes a nice profile. The profile of this fly with the construction and the minimal materials just does a great job, and has been a proven winner. If you have any questions, please jump in the comments down below. Happy to help out or discuss some things anything wasn't clear in the tutorial. Or if you liked the video, give it a like, subscribe to my channel, or check out some of these other fly tying videos I've done. Thanks.